Spinach sprout. Gopher snakes in the garden of New Mexico Territory, dog chewing a bone at my feet. Clem moon rider after butterflies, after the flies and wasps in the garden. Looking in through the fence, tail vibrating, I lay off and sit on top of this my place. My place is where I sit down, join the carrion flies, whisk them away, out, over, out, over, out, over, out, over, over, out, speckle ridges, fallow slopes, slow heaps, bulges, breast, miles from breast. The landscape half-eaten lies out mellowing, prone. Blue, white kisses up to the wind, floating clouds. No rain for century, it seems. Time to roll around again, go dancing by the spring, call on a friend, go feeling out the cleavages of mesa ends. Deep drop to pick up advertisements for the heart to beat, beat rock, woman drum, garden number, moon dry. Wish heat clouds over building up, the sun in ridges, in the very edge of the great slope of oak turning green again and again, green to raise a heavier cloud directly overhead and rain down our heads, the shadow moving under, turning cool with the new expanse of garden space, garden in her labyrinth you follow, eyes leading into eyes with the trees between the walls, and you follow till you lead inward to her hymnal strumming jet streak sounds down in the very center where she gave you up her navel and planted the tree of life. In the very center of her garden, where she laid down the peach, apple, apricot, and canned it for the winter, apricot butter, the feast in the tree and the man in his heart, in the giant ear listening to the time of trees, the labyrinth and long holy nights with the mouthpiece next to your ear. Listening in the garden, in the labyrinth he drew and placed her in the center with her head a giant taller, decapitated from the earth, and buried here to sing where the voices of the poets lift the entire state and set the table for her returning, and found that to be found again. I dance in her mouth. I listen to her giant ear and talk with the trees. What do you see? The light streaming under from the borders of the state, so tall, so clear, it drops, just drops down from the sun you never see, just drops and bounces, swelling clear from the earth, laid out in cloud-shadowed hills. Shamisa, springs, climbing hills descending in pockets of white earth between layered blues, west of the Rio Grande, and closer, the wind lifts the shadows from the trees, and the quiet of her heart is the spring where I dance, facing in the dance all directions of the dance, to bring the water to the garden, leave it there and listen, and see her tree lift its head above the fence. Fence's walls of center belly is no bigger than the dance. When she does the work and he sees her movement in his hands, drawing on the stone where she saw his shining wonder, lost, laughed, put down, startled, a spinach sprout in a golden bubble, a spinach sprout, the first in the garden. Underneath her shining tree, roots in the smoke between the clouds, darkening, the wind alive a lot, to magnify and magnify her drawing on the paper, and he on the stone, the center of the tree, the sprout in golden bubble, repeated endlessly. And here is a painting of the golden bubble the first spinach sprout that Lenore did in '74.